Retire as champion!
So today we're going to answer the question, which hero should I main? And the answer that I have for you is a little bit controversial, maybe a little bit misleading, because I'm not actually going to recommend a hero to you. My answer to the question, which hero should I main, is nobody. Now right away you're saying to yourself, well, I already have a hero that I'm looking at that interests me, that has the play style that I want to go for in the game. And I would say that's healthy. I mean, in order to draw players into the game, these heroes have to speak to you to a certain degree, to a play style you're familiar with or comfortable with or good at. So what do I mean by nobody? Well, the answer to that question is that for the first 60 to 100 hours of the game, I feel like that you really should play every single hero. And why do I say that? Well, several really important reasons. It's important that you get to know the strengths and weaknesses of every single hero. And that extends even further than strengths and weaknesses. You need to know every facet of every ability in the game. Every hero has a feel to how the hero plays. And even though you may settle on a hero later that you definitely want to main, let's say you want to be Widowmaker, you're saying to yourself, listen, Jeff, I've played a sniper in every single first-person shooter that I've ever played. I was a Class A sniper in Team Fortress. I was a crack shot in DayZ. I was excellent at sniping in Battlefield. Listen, I'm going to be Widowmaker. And what I would say to you is, the fact that you can snipe very well is going to be an asset to your team. But I think that in order to maximize your sniping ability, you have to know run speeds. You have to know ability capabilities. You have to know how high Winston can jump before he starts to fall. You have to know how fast Reaper can teleport from one location to another. You really have to get a feel for these characters' abilities in order to anticipate where they're going to be at certain times. I would argue that it's more important to know your opponent's capabilities than it is to know your own capabilities. I mean, yeah, you will get comfortable playing a hero, that's for sure. But are you comfortable anticipating what the other heroes are going to do against you? And look, not only is this vitally important for a Twitch sniping class like a Widowmaker or a snapshot class like a Hanzo, this is also really important for the flanking classes and the skirmisher classes that are going to have to anticipate what the other team is going to do on their front lines or with their own skirmishers and flankers. You really have to learn how a particular hero is going to move around the map. And the reason I say this is that you have to anticipate where they're going to be at what time. Especially when a map starts or after you kill a hero and you know that they respawn after a certain amount of time, you have to try to guess at where they're going to be when they come back. I mean, this is really going to be vital for heroes like Tracer, knowing how far she can run, where she can run to, and at what time, not based on her capabilities, but more based on the offensive capabilities of the heroes that are chasing her down or attempting to intercept her. And the only way you're going to become familiar with all these capabilities of every single hero is to play all of them extensively. You want to even out your playtime as much as possible between every single hero. What I would say between 60 and 100 hours. I throw that number out there because in Team Fortress and several other first-person shooters that I've played, it's taken about that long to really become familiar with every single hero or every single class. And I think that that is going to be your benchmark for attaining a knowledge, having a thorough knowledge base of every single hero's capabilities. So the second reason that you shouldn't rush into the game with a predetermined hero that you're going to main is that we're not sure exactly how the competitive scene is going to play out. I mean, we've seen from some of the pre-beta footage that these heroes are designed to counter one another. These heroes are meant to be changed on the fly. If you open up the score screen and you see that they have a particular hero that is just destroying your team for whatever reason, you need to be able to switch on the fly to another hero in order to counter them. With this format of counters and counters, we're really going to see that you have to be flexible enough to switch from hero to hero in order to counter the enemy team. You can't just main one hero in order to be the most effective. You have to be good with several heroes. And by extension, you have to be competent enough to play almost every hero. And I think that this is really going to show in the competitive scene as we move along. Are competitive teams going to be stuck in a static, 6 team that they may be the 6th best in the world at those particular heroes, but are they able to switch on the fly from hero to hero in order to counter who they're playing against? I think that the strongest competitive teams are going to be the teams that are able to switch on the fly and change up the meta in the game as the game is playing out. I think really that's going to be the resource of competitive play. How fast can you switch and how fast can you counter opponents? I mean, aside from the competitive scene, in the default settings for Overwatch, just the basic ladder system, you can switch on the fly. And in order to play the game at your maximum potential, I think it's important that you have several mains at least, if not 4 or 5. Especially having at least one main from each category of hero. I think that that's really going to be a much stronger asset than being a crack shot with Widowmaker or being able to dominate with this hero or that hero. I think it's going to come more down to your versatility than your specialization.